Who's that famous? That's it. There's a famous YouTube clip. Leroy Jenkins. You guys ever seen that clip? If you guys have not seen that, you should look up Leroy Jenkins. Because that was one of the funniest things. And that was before like YouTube was really a thing or like viral clips were really a thing. I remember watching that over and over and over and over again at work because we just kept laughing.
Okay guys, these eggs have given us a lot of trouble in the past. Does anybody need anything off this guy, or can we bypass him?
I think Leroy needs something from this guy.
Oh, he needs those devout shoulders? Isn't he a paladin?
Yeah, but that'll help him heal better. He'll have more mana.
Okay, well what we'll do, I'll run in first, gather up all the eggs so we can kind of just, blast them all down with AoE. I will use Intimidating Shout to kind of scatter them so we don't have to fight a whole bunch of them at once. When my shout's done, I'll need Anthony to come in and drop his shout too, so we can keep them scattered, not to fight too many. When his is done, Bass of course will need to run in and do the same thing. We're going to need Divine Intervention on our mages, so they can AE, so we can of course get them down fast, because we're bringing all these guys. I mean, we'll be in trouble if we don't take them down quick. I think it's a pretty good plan. We should be able to pull it off this time. What do you think, Abdul? Can you give me a number crunch real quick?
Yeah, give me a sec. I'm coming up with 32.33, repeating of course, percentage of survival.
Oh, that's a lot better than we usually do.
Alright, chums up.
Ready, guys?
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
Oh my god, he just ran in. Save him!
Oh geez, stick to the plan!
Let's go, let's go.
Stick to the plan, chums.
Stick to the plan!
Oh gee.
Give me Divine Intervention.
Hurry up.
Shout!
He's saying I can't cast. I can't move. Am I lagging, guys?
I can't move. What? I can't AE. Oh my god.
The eggs keep spawning. More respawning.
I don't think you can cast.
We got him.
Take it off. I got it. Take it off.
Come on, stay down.
Oh, you moron.
Leroy.
Jimmy.
This is ridiculous.
I'm on it. Damn,
This is
I got killed before I could
we
remove
died
him.
on this. God. Oh,
See,
Spiffy, res us. Spiffy,
Why do you
res
do
us.
this, Leroy?
I'm trying.
It's not my fault.
Oh, for...
Great job.
For Christ's sake. Leroy, you were just stupid.
Oh man.
At least I have chicken.
Oh man, that does not get old for me. I'm sorry, guys, to put you through that twice in one day, but that does not get old. It's so funny. What's up, everybody? I am back, and we are doing this again. Trying to finish up here on a Friday night, a later Friday night. Thanks for coming back, John. John made it in at the beginning. Well, I'll let him say it, not me. But John came in for the finish line. We were a little nervous there for a second, Comrade Sammy. Just kind of checking it out, making sure you weren't lurking in the shadows. Awesome One's here. Hey, Awesome One. How are you doing? Hope you guys got dinner, full bellies, wrapping up the day in your jammies, maybe, dare I say. All ready for the night to end, or maybe the stream marathon to begin. I know a lot of people do Friday night streams, so maybe we're kind of in on that. I don't know. Let's see here. Yeah, see, we were a little paranoid, Comrade Sammy. We weren't sure where you were. We thought at first maybe you might be sleeping, but then she entered the chat. Chat Ninja is here, Comrade Sammy. Welcome to Arthur Adams Part 2, Arthur Adams Omnibus Part 2. I had a good dinner with my family. We dropped my boy off at a sleepover, and then we went and got some really good Filipino food, actually. For those of you who were wondering, of a really good restaurant. I'm Filipino, if you guys didn't know that. And so there's a lot of Filipino food in the Bay Area, particularly South San Francisco, Daly City. They have a lot of good Filipino restaurants, but this one in particular is in a town south of us called San Mateo, and it's one of my favorite Filipino restaurants in the Bay Area. They do it's kind of like a notch up of Filipino food. Not gourmet, but it's got some class to it, but it's really authentic. It's not most Filipino restaurants you go to, it feels like you're walking into your tita's kitchen. It's like pretty home cooking and comfort food, but this one, they do it up nice and it's very yummy. So we had a good dinner. Let's see, K-pop. Why do I have like 6 K-pop video suggestions? Maybe she's just cranking out that entertainment, cranking out that content. I have yet to check out her channel, but I know she does pop culture stuff, and I'm assuming comics and movies and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be cool to check her channel out. Hopefully she swings back in here, but maybe not. Figure I'll have a little bit of a thinner crowd because it's a little later for you East Coasters. But I couldn't let the day go by without finishing this book. Let's see, how many pages do we do? Like 380, and we still have like 1,000, literally 1,000 more to go. John didn't like my countdown music. I don't know why. I thought it was pretty cool. No, I can change it. I liked it. Watching Dan Lawless do his thing at the moment. Oh, is he live streaming, or was it a new video that he posted? Not sure. Dan's very talented, and he's got some great tutorials on his channel for those of you who have seen it. I always learn something new when I watch those. Rocky hangs with the hipsters, awesome one says. Sure. That means that you guys are the hipsters. But I'll take it. Leroy Jenkins, we were watching. John saying that he watches video at high speed too. I do that sometimes too, especially if I'm trying to find something. Depends on what I'm doing, and how quickly. But unfortunately, you can't speed up live video, so sorry, pal. You gotta listen to me at 1x. Leroy Jenkins. Let's see. RIP headphone users. Yeah, that audio is a little bit blown out. I can turn it down. Maybe I'll turn it down next time I play that. Or maybe you guys will not forgive me if I do it again, but it is a little blown out, but I think that's partially how it's recorded, but I can also reduce the volume on it. It's just funny. It's just funny to me. Yeah. I don't know what that meant, but okay. I made it through 3/5 of Dan Lawless's vid. Okay, cool. I wonder what was the subject he posted on today. I've seen some he done on perspective and drawing the human figure, drawing hands. Didn't he do one drawing horses too, I think? Man, that guy can draw, so it's cool. I'm glad he's doing that. That's definitely his wheelhouse. So it's awesome to see him doing that. R.I.P. Sammy's ears. A moment of silence. Oh, sorry. She couldn't hear it anyway because we blew him out. I was watching Rini till she said Ren and Stimpy was gross. You know what I have, awesome one. Wow, this'll derail the video. 1 second. Oops. Next time I have a home setup, I should place my bookshelf right next to where I am streaming from, so that I don't always have to get up. But maybe that's part of the journey. Have you ever seen this awesome one? Whoops. John K. presents his comic book. Have you ever seen it? I can flip through a little bit of it later if you want, if you're interested, if you haven't seen it at all. But it's cool. It's, if you like Ren and Stimpy, I recommend it. It's 100% John K. And I know all the kind of allegations and crappy stuff that has surrounded some of the actions that he's taken. But as far as an artist and a creator, that is a really cool compilation of his work. And he works with a bunch of greats in the animation industry. Jim Smith, Vince Waller, those guys worked on all the Ren and Stimpy stuff, but they also worked on like SpongeBob and Mike Fontanelli, Shane Glines. I don't know. Do you guys know Shane Glines' work? He was really hot in the early 2000s. He comes from the whole Bruce Timm Batman the Animated Series crew, and he's a phenomenal artist. He had one of the original like drawing boards where there was like a community of artists. They would like post pictures and stuff, and it was thriving. And he's come out with a bunch of art books too. But he's an incredible designer. He's an animation designer, and he cut a lot of his chops working for John Kay, and he did a lot of inking in this particular comic book. So yeah, if you're interested, maybe later if we have time, we can look through a little bit of that. If we don't look through it tonight, it was one thing that I was going to do a video on or a live stream on or whatever. So if we don't do it tonight, I will definitely bring it up in the future. But it's great. Chat Ninja not only moves in silence, also hears. Yeah, she's a deaf chat ninja. Too many adjectives. John, that's cool. Glad we pay respects to my now damaged eardrums. LOL. Oh boy. Sorry. Awesome One says, are all the Filipino chefs Vietnamese? No, not here. They're all authentically Filipino, as far as I know. Not that having Vietnamese chefs is bad, but like there's actually a lot of great restaurants here that are all sorts of different cuisines. Indian, Chinese, whatever you can think, Thai. And sometimes the chefs are different ethnicities. A lot of great chefs are Mexican chefs here, and that aren't necessarily cooking Mexican food. But I always notice them like in fancy restaurants. I'm like, dude, that dude's like rocking it. But no, in this particular restaurant, they are not Vietnamese. Dan Lawless has a video of redo of Rob Liefeld's Captain. Oh, really? Oh, the controversial Captain America cover. Funny. That cover is anatomically bananas, but what drawing by Rob Liefeld isn't? But I kind of love it because it's so memorable and it's so Rob Liefeld. It's so over the top. So I have to check that out to see what he did on that cover. I used to watch 2 times, but my brain never retained info. Yeah, it left your brain twice as fast as you watched it. No. Rini is extremely talented. Her perspectives are just unreal, including anatomy. Like her drawing perspective. Yeah, she can draw almost anything. Like from what I've seen, she's very, very good. Very, very good. And I know she's really big on the world building for Fiendish, and just in general, world building is her thing. And she can back it up with her art, so that's awesome. Hey, Cranberry, good evening. Thank you for being here. Hope you're well. Hope your Friday night is wrapping up well, or depending on where you are, Saturday morning. Some people are moving into Saturday morning. Just looking at the time, I'm like, it's 9:55 here in the West Coast. But just thinking of some of those streams that Shant would start at like 11:30 my time, West Coast time. And then he would go out, go on till like 1:30 my time. And I don't know, I didn't even know I did that. And people would show up. That's a crazy thing. I think it's one thing that he hosts it and starts it. It's another thing that everybody shows up. So it's awesome. You guys are great. Unreal equals excellent. Yep, I got that. I got that for sure. I know you're a big fan of her stuff. I am too, and that's great. Everybody's saying hello. Phenomenal. Wow, John's a huge fan. I didn't know him, but sounds like he's done great work. Are we talking about John Kay or Rob Liefeld? or Sean? No, I know you know Sean. Probably John K, right? John K is the creator of, if we're talking about John K, he's the creator of Ren and Stimpy. Awesome one if you are a fan of his work. And I would agree with her. I think his stuff is gross, but that was the whole thing. That like he just was over the top and did gross stuff really gross and really well, and he was funny and distasteful, but he just changed what Nickelodeon cartoons were, and almost any Nickelodeon cartoon now, or I wouldn't say now, but a lot of the foundation of what Nickelodeon's cartoons were built on was work that he did. John Kay also he was working for quite a while and trained under Ralph Bakshi. If you guys know Ralph Bakshi's work, he did a lot of in the 70s and 80s indie cartoons like Fire and Ice and Lord of the Rings. He did that original one. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking? Fritz the Cat. So a lot of stuff that was based off of indie underground comics, he did animated stuff for, which was unheard of at the time. American Pop, I think, was another one he did. But he always did like mature, kind of more cutting edge or edgier stuff than kids' cartoons. And John Kay trained under him and worked with him. And then Ralph Bakshi did a revamp of the Mighty Mouse series. You guys remember Mighty Mouse? Here I come to save the day. So he did a revamp of that, and it was a lot more subversive and weird, and that had a lot to do with John Kay. And so after the success of that Mighty Mouse cartoons, then John Kay did Ren and Stimpy, and that just blew up like crazy. Phenomenal is how White Sean. Oh, Bancroft. Phenomenal. Forehead. Makes sense. Sometimes SpongeBob. Yep. That's exactly where they get it from. And a lot of those guys who painted those close-ups, those really gruesome, like gnarly zits and hairs and, earwax close-ups were the guys who did it for Ren and Stimpy. So, and a lot of those guys ended up working on all the cartoons you can, like Samurai Jack, Dexter's Laboratory, Powerpuff Girls, all those guys, they came out of that Ren and Stimpy school. Yeah, it was a cornerstone for animation. And unfortunately, because of John Kay's personal choices and the kind of horrible allegations that are out there about things that he did and the way he treated people, kind of tainted his legacy, tainted his career. So it's really unfortunate. Wait, there are Asians in SF? there are a few. Yeah, quite a few. Most of our Chinese restaurants have Mexican chefs. Yeah. And I don't know. I don't know what it... I mean, I don't want to be stereotyping here, but I don't know what it is. But I know I've witnessed a lot of Mexican, Hispanic chefs who are just amazing. And that they can cook anything. So I don't know if it's just part of the culture, like they're just good cooks, or they adapt really well, or what. But kudos, man. I will eat good food, whoever is cooking it. Did you test the chef's blood to confirm their how did I test it? Accent? The food? I guess it could be fooled, could come from a different person's house. No, they're definitely Filipino. But I can get a blood test next time I go. I don't think that'll be weird at all. I applied at a Japanese restaurant. Cranberry Langers applied at a Japanese restaurant, but they didn't take my application. Probably because I'm white and don't speak Japanese, don't know how to make any of the dishes. Standards. They were not equal opportunity. They just wanted people to be able to make good Japanese food. All right. John has already crossed over the threshold. So extra kudos. Thank you for being here and spending your Saturday morning here. Cranberry Langers Friday night for like an hour. Okay. 11:56 p.m., which probably now that I've gotten to it is now crossed over for Awesome One. John is in Spain. No, he's not. The guy who did great work was the guy who worked on Batman the Animated Series. Yes. There's a lot of guys who worked on Batman the Animated. I would say, I don't know, so many good artists came out of Batman the Animated Series and Ren and Stimpy. And mixed in there was like Tiny Toons, Freakazoid, all that, those shows that kind of came out at the same time. A lot of those crew jumped from crew to crew and had their hands in it. Like Bruce Timm came from, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Bruce Timm came from Tiny Toons and then into Batman the Animated Series. And I think he did work on, I want to say he did work on Ren and Stimpy too, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, those guys all were in the trenches together and became cornerstones of the animation of that era. Not a fan of the art, a fan of how fun it was. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was fun. It was totally different. It was very weird and different, and nobody had seen anything like it before, and it was awesome. I like Mighty Mouse, Georgia Jungle, Tom Slick. Yeah. So yeah, the Mighty Mouse that I'm talking about, I know that Mighty Mouse was like originally from Terry Toons, but then they revamped it, Bakshi revamped it, and you could tell it has kind of a Ren and Stimpy feel to it. It's like a lot more exaggerated and zany and not as the original Mighty Mouse kind of had more of a classic Disney Tom and Jerry feel to it, and the revamped one did not. It is 1 a.m. here now. There we are. There we are. So John has crossed the threshold. Space Goofs was in the style of Ren and Stimpy. Space Goofs? I don't know if I've heard of that one. Space Goofs. I'll have to look that one up. Stop it. Freakazoid, watched that recently. It was great. Yeah. So Bruce Timm was he did the main designs for Freakazoid and a lot of those characters on it. And I believe Shane Glines, I'm sure, like he kind of took his crew with him. So it was like Bruce Timm, and do you guys know the designer Glenn Murakami? He's great. He's also has done some comic book stuff. He's a huge comic fan for sure. I follow him on Instagram, but he works in the animation industry. He worked on like Ben 10 and I believe like one of the Transformers shows from the late 2000s. But he was predominant Teen Titans. That was all Glenn Murakami. But he was like right-hand man for Bruce Timm. And then there's another artist named Ronnie Del Carmen, who is one of the main storyboard artists. Happens to be Filipino as well, tying it all together. But he ended up becoming a huge story guy he was one of the main storyboard artists on Batman the Animated Series. And then he became a huge story lead and eventually like head of story at Pixar. And Ronnie was well known. I've met him a few times. He did some comic stuff too, which I have. I can bring that out. I mean, that's the fun of this. Let's just do it, guys. Feeling crazy tonight. Ronnie Del Carmen did some independently produced stuff. Oops. This is called Paper Biscuit. But he had some beautiful, elegant drawings. Never drew an ugly person. Like so much appeal in his drawings, so much expression. And Ronnie is really well known for the stuff that he did at Pixar. Ronnie, from what I've heard and what I've seen and the people that I know who've worked with him, he always did like the most moving tearjerker scenes. Like he knew how to like hit the heartstrings. So a sequence that you guys might be super familiar with that Ronnie did storyboarded and was in charge of was the whole Up sequence with the montage where, oh gosh, what's the name of the old guy in Up? Whatever his name is. What was his name? That whole sequence where he falls in love with his wife and they get married and then she dies. Spoiler alert. But that was all Ronnie and it was all silent and that's him. So he's like incredibly talented with emotional storytelling. So yeah, he came from Batman animated series, and it's an incredible talent. I love Tokyo Stop, that restaurant. Big fan. Fortunately, they didn't want me. I figured if I worked there, I might get more of a chance to get more teriyaki food. That's the same reason I want to work for a comic book store, just to get the discount. First dibs. Awesome One says, I didn't have cable growing up, only watched Saturday morning cartoons as a kid and was outside during the week. That was probably good. As opposed to being holed away watching cartoons all the time. But yeah, Saturday morning cartoons for me also were the way that I saw for the most part. That and coming home at night, coming home after school at about 3:30 is when I would watch Batman the Animated Series. I was a fan of Freakazoid. Cool. Chat Ninja's napping. Okay, let's talk quietly. But she's deaf now, so it doesn't matter. Teen Titans. Yep, that was Murakami. Glenn Murakami was the main design director. I think showrunner on that maybe too. Shh up. She's here. She's eating a cookie, guys. Ben 10 looked great. Lots of these shows. I never got into Ben 10. It was a little young for me, and I was kind of past that age. But I can tell why. I can understand why it was a great show. You guys are funny. Comrade Sammy. Don't underestimate Comrade Sammy. She is lurking. She's always there. Who ruined animation at CalArts? I don't think anybody ruined animation at CalArts. I think that the CalArts style, this is just my take, the CalArts style, it produced so many incredible animators, artists, directors during that time period. And just became the most sellable look. And the second that any kind of corporate media is like, that sold us millions of dollars, let's do that again. And so everybody just started drawing and animating the same way because that's what was selling. And so it kind of becomes this incestuous little cycle, and until it just everything starts looking the same, right? So I don't blame CalArts. They put out some incredible talents, probably some of the best animators and directors, animation directors have come from CalArts, but at the same time, you know, you could get a little bit into the like myopia of, oh, this is what animation looks like, so it's all got to look like that, and that's what happened. Your mom did beautiful, elegant drawings, Rocky. Why are you bringing my mom into this? Okay. I like the Pixar shorts. My favorite short is For the Birds. That one's still my favorite one. It's one of the earliest Pixar shorts, but still, for me, one of the best ones. That one was directed by, Bob Eggleton? Ralph Eggleton directed For the Birds. And the timing, just the humor, the soundtrack, the music, the character designs, all of that were just perfect for me. Even to this day, are really good. You know who draws well? Your mom. Nice. Okay, I gotcha. Does CalArts insist upon itself? Probably. All right, Chat Ninja. Chat Ninja, she's here. She's comfy. I got a feeling Chat Ninja is, sitting in her bed, totally comfortable, waiting for me to get to part 2 of Arthur Adams. Rich people surround themselves with dummies sometimes. Sometimes they are the dummies. It's okay. All right, so let's get to it. Let's get to this second part of it. I think this is the page we were on. Shadowcat Designs. Shadowcat, aka Kitty Pryde Designs. Oh, this was her new costume. This is going from giving her like a face mask and all that, and I had no idea that Arthur Adams was the designer on that. Pretty awesome. His different takes on it. Cranberry Langer says Recess, Batman, Freakazoid, Spider-Man, Monster Rancher, X-Men, Hulk, Street Sharks, The Tick, Animaniacs, Eek the Cat, Bobby's World, Life with Louie, Pepper Ann, Gargoyles. Are these all the shows that you're into? Yeah, that's good. There's some good stuff out there. And I love how, like, those that you just listed, they're so varied. I feel like, speaking of like the incestuous kind of cycle, I feel like a lot of the shows these days, maybe it's just because I'm getting older, a lot of the shows these days kind of look and feel, sound, same timing. And all the ones that you just listed, Cranberry, are all very different. And I think we just had a lot more variety back then. The grass is always greener. We wasted enough time for Shelby to have gotten here. Shelby is in, I think, Arizona, right? So no excuse. He should be here. No, that's all right. I'm glad he popped up in the first one. He had some great nuggets, right, guys, of information. I love the insider stuff that he has, and I know some of that is insider stuff because he's worked in the comic book industry, but I also know some of it's just him nerding out. Like, he just loves it, and that's fun. This is cool. Arthur Adams always had the coolest proportions on his, and you can see like Rob Liefeld took a lot of that. A lot of people rip off Arthur Adams for that, but like, usually the rough proportions are like from the top of the head to the bottom of the crotch, or the crotch to the bottom of the foot. But look how much longer his female legs are. That's crazy. And Biggin, yes sir. Those were the ones I was into. Real Monsters. Let me move that up. We did have more creative variety. Golden Age animation. Bummer for the younger kids. Yeah, I mean, maybe the kids these days, or that are now kind of young adults, will be like, nah, what we had was great. And I think maybe every generation does. But Real Monsters was the Klasky Chupo, from the school of Klasky Chupo, which is where Rugrats came in. Here's a fun fact for you guys, animation fun fact. Did you know that the intro sequence to Rugrats was animated by, and storyboarded and animated by Peter Chung, the creator of Aeon Flux? Did you know he did that? And if you go back and watch it, you can see all the Peter Chung isms in there. So he actually, if you guys don't follow him, he used to be active on Instagram quite a bit, and he would post regularly, and I know he was doing some online teaching, some great interviews with different people. But he's a super smart guy. He's very intimidating, very cerebral, but so smart and really good artist. So I love Peter Chung's work. I have, what do I have of his that I could show? Well, that'll be for another time. I'm getting too distracted here. I like the thinner design of Shadowcat. Yeah, it's cool. Kind of matured, aged her up a little bit. And it's also classic Arthur Adams of these like long, spindly legs, This is where Rob Liefeld gets a lot of his proportions for his characters. Shantha's clearly feeding right now, as it is night. He is definitely on the prowl. He's a vampire. Oh, look at that. Oh. Did you say that twice, Cranberry? Oh, he said slimmer and thinner. Oh, okay, gotcha. I did know that about the Rugrats. Cool. Yeah, isn't that cool? Like, you don't... Rugrats is not the first thing you think of with Peter Chung, but when you watch that intro, you're like, oh yeah, that is him. This is a cool cover sketch. My goodness. This is probably the loosest I've ever seen. The loosest sketch I've ever seen Arthur Adams do. He's usually very tight with his sketches. And I have this, I'm sure it's going to be in this book, but I have it here in this bigger book, this image. I just saw it. I think it's in the gatefold. Yep. There it is. Pretty awesome. Sorry for the glare. There you go. That is pretty awesome. So that went from this to this. It's all there, just way more drawn out. Oh, Arthur Adams, why are you so talented? Did Peter Chung sing She Bang? No. But I appreciate you thinking he did. ZZ Top, classic. Say his comic name 2 more times and a wild the forehead will show. Bancroft. Okay, so these are thumbnails from Asgardian War. New Mutant Special Edition #1. Oh no, not thumbnails. Pencil art. So tight. This is cool. He like kind of indicated where the sound effects should be. My goodness. I was like I was stunned a bit of us just looking at that first, 300 pages that we did before I left for dinner. I was a little bit stunned afterwards because I was just like, I cannot even process all of that being in one book. And now getting back into it, I'm like, like I can't breathe. This is too much good artwork. No wonder why he only came out with an annual like once a year. It's phenomenal. I like the heavy use of blacks in his stuff. Yeah, he was really detailed, but he could spot the black areas and the dark areas really well. Especially, I'd say, in his later, as he kind of evolved into it. There was this one image, I'll show you guys. I posted this on X. I commented on this on X. I hadn't noticed it before because the cover that I grew up with was this one. This classic X-Men cover here. Let's see, not so shiny. So I grew up with this, like this image, and I thought it was awesome. I knew it was Arthur Adams and whatnot. But then I saw this, they printed his original. And look what they did. They the editor must have chosen to do this. They took out all these shadows, these blacks here, and these compositional elements of the blacks here in the tech in the background. And they just ripped it all out of this cover and then colored it with this one flat color. And I'm sure it's to pop. Sorry, I'm just trying to get it. I'm sure it's to pop the characters with the color, but it just flattened it out for me to see it in comparison to what he originally intended in the black and white art. So that like shocked me. I'm like, wow, like I love this image, but now I'm looking at it, I'm like, that is incredible. So speaking of how he spot his blacks, like he had it all worked out here, and then they just kind of stripped it out for the colored version. The funny thing too is in the original, he has a note that says, I don't think you guys can see it. No, you can see it. He has a note here that says gorilla leg brown. So I guess it was a note to the colors to make sure like, hey, make this brown. This is the gorilla's leg. And then sure enough, in this image, they totally missed it and made it blue. I'm like, did you not read his... Not only did you strip out the black areas of his ink work, but you didn't even read his note. So weird. I blame the editor in that one. Oops. That was almost disastrous. She Bangs was sung by William Hung before. Yes. William Hung. And then there was Gangnam Style. Remember that guy? All those one-hit wonders that made millions of dollars because of it. Yeah, it's amazing. Amazing. Wow, his original look way better. Yep, I agree. I don't know who... I'm sure it was one of the big Marvel editors, because that was at the time. I'm sure it wasn't a nobody, but man, oh man, that was a total misstep in my opinion. Yeah, absolutely. Might be cheaper to cut out all the blacks, more ink. I don't know. That's a good question. I wonder if black ink cost more to print? But I can't imagine that was easy for them to erase the black ink either. You know what I'm saying? Like, that couldn't have been easy. Who's the poor assistant that had to do that? This is so cool. Inks by Terry Austin, one of the best inkers on Arthur Adams stuff. I bet you these are these unused pages? Previously unseen original flow of the story. Scene it depicted was expanded across the three. Yeah, I don't remember seeing these pages at all. Holy moly. I love these little notes here. So clean. These pencils are so clean. Psy did Gangnam Style. That's right. Psy. Okay. This is great. I remember these pages. This classic double-sized annual cover. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that image if you're familiar with Arthur Adams' work. Sorry to bring up this. So I guess it was a good idea that I bought this book because, yes, all the images are probably contained, but it's nice to see them huge too. That image, like, I know a lot of people were like up in arms of female Thor in the movies. I love Natalie Portman. I wasn't too hip on her female Thor in that latest Thor movie. But man, can you imagine Storm? Like Storm as a Thor? Now that is cool. That is a cool choice right there. Made sense too with her powers. (1986, 1987). Oh, okay. I think I have these issues. I might have these issues somewhere. Firestar. Wow, I don't remember these covers. Inks by Bill Sienkiewicz. Yeah, I love me some Bill Sienkiewicz, but definitely Terry Austin was the best inker on Arthur Adams' work, in my opinion. Man, he was just so tight. Chocolate chip cookie, really? You know what I just got today? I was at Costco and I got these Reese's Pieces dipped animal crackers. They're really good. I love Reese's Pieces. Or Reese's Buttercups. I love animal crackers. And they were really good. Oh, this is cool. Arthur Adams is a huge fan of Godzilla and kaiju, big monsters, universal monsters. So him putting it into any kind of story, it does not surprise me. Oh, I guess it's Warlock here. I haven't read this annual. This is actually a famous annual that Arthur Adams did, but I haven't read it, so it's great that it's included here. Oh, that's right. I'm going to put a little music so that the silences aren't so silent. Let's see. This? Ooh. All right. This is not a great drawing. Did he do that drawing? Or no, just the long shot drawing. Okay. I didn't think he did that one. There's Shadowcat. That's awesome. Unicorn. I remember this drawing. I have this, or had this as a kid. I had this Marvel Universe book. That's cool. He would shoot out this beam out of his helmet. That's a cool power. Hello, Cersei. Nice. Oh, I have this Close Cloak and Dagger. More Mojo. Yes, I have this issue. This Cloak and Dagger. I love Cloak and Dagger. I never watched the TV series. I I think they had like maybe it was like a CW series. Maybe that's why I didn't watch it. They were like teens in it, but I love that concept. I don't know if you guys know Cloak and Dagger at all. That's a really cool. She has light powers. He has this cloak that is like a portal into a dark dimension, and he would basically absorb bad guys into his cloak, and they would see like the worst of themselves, and he would, I don't know if he would like drain them of it, but or trap them in it. He'd also use it to like transport. He could like teleport through his cloak, but he also needed the light to give him energy, and so he was permanently tied with Dagger. So it was kind of this cool concept. Cranberry Langer says, I had the Marvel Universe book 2 was awesome. I remember a lot. I know. The kind of stuff that I would just obsess about and memorize at that age was incredible. Now I can't remember anything, but the details that I remembered before based on like books like that, I'd memorize their height, their aliases, what book, and even if I hadn't read the comic book, because of the Marvel Universe book, I would do that kind of stuff. It's crazy. I do know Cloak and Dagger. I find them a little gross, but underutilized. Yeah, I don't know. They had some good stories. Their origin story was pretty cool. It was a lot more gritty and kind of dealt with like inner city crime, like as opposed to like huge world-changing events like the Avengers would face or Fantastic Four or whatever. Cloak and Dagger were dealing with like the scum on the city streets, a little bit more like Daredevil, but they had powers, like drug dealers. That was kind of a big deal in their storylines. And them trying to find where they came from, their past, and how they were tied together, because they didn't actually really like each other to begin with, but they were tied by their powers, and that was interesting. But I've never felt like it totally had a huge hit story in it. Ooh, that's a creepy apocalypse. Cool. Daredevil covers. Awesome One says, I think they did a story where Cloak was volatile, so he absorbed himself before he swallowed. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, they had all sorts of stuff. Like, I think his powers, they had enough of a... they could do a certain amount of things with it, so they tried out, like, whatever, different abilities, different storylines that had to do with the cloak. Dagger was a little bit more straightforward with her light beams. I think Cloak was definitely had more of an interesting power. But the name Cloak and Dagger, that's a really cool name for a duo. Having to settle for cinnamon raisin bagel. Oh, honey nut cream. Oh, that sounds excellent. That's a good nighttime or early morning snack. If I get desperate, I'll just eat straight chocolate. Oh boy. Oh, okay, so this was the pencils. Huh, I wonder why they put it so far away from the original. Is that just a page ordering thing or what? Because it would nice to see them all together. Now I lost it. This book is so big, I can't find anything anywhere. I don't remember what page it was on. Didn't I just pass that? Is it all the way back here? Maybe. Nope. Oh, there it is. Page 488. I don't think I have a book that is this long. Yeah, I don't think so. I think this is definitely the thickest comic book thing I have. So that's cool. You can see the pencil art, photocopy, the original art, and then the finished cover. Very cool. Same with this. Yeah, this was... Oh, there it is. I wonder why they separated that. To force me to flip through it. Oh, this is cool. I guess I never noticed that on the color version. I don't know why, but you can really see the zipatone here. And this is my favorite to see, like, let me see if I can zoom in for you guys to see, like, the like, there's like tape marks here and like cutout marks. You can see how they cut out the word Hellions and put it up here. Seems like there was a correction on the face here too. You can see the cut lines on the Zipatone. That's awesome. Oh, and this is that like Godzilla pages we just looked at. Wow. Great. I mean, part of me wishes this was at original size, like the artist editions, but then there's no way that would be like, you'd have to get a license to wield a weapon if this book is that thick and that large. That would be too much. I wonder, man, I wish Arthur Adams got royalties on this image, because I can't tell you how many times I've seen it printed in so many different forms. Such a classic Wolverine image. I've copied it a million times myself. Rob Liefeld, all the artists have copied it a million times. And it's just really good. That's a good one. Let's see. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, they needed to break out. Oh, wait, whoops. Sorry, I missed some stuff here. Ooh, Silver Surfer. I always chose cosmic stories when buying comics. Oh, really? Huh, that's good. Have you checked out Jim Starlin's stuff? He did Warlock. Jim Starlin did, I want to say Guardians of the Galaxy. He did the Infinity War. He's great. I loved his cosmic stories. He was kind of the main dude who worked on that. I went to an original art exhibit of his. They have a museum here in San Francisco. Again, another lucky thing we have here is a cartoon art museum. They have different exhibits that run through it. I think currently they have a Dave Stevens exhibit, which I should remember to check that out because I don't want to miss that. But you know, they have original art and usually have three or so exhibits going at one time. And the exhibit that I got to see last there was a Jim Starlin one, so I got to see like his original art, and it was so good. I didn't appreciate his work as much until I saw his originals. They needed to break out Cloak and Dagger, make them bigger players to make me engage with their stories. Yeah, I feel like they didn't. I feel like all the pieces were there. They just didn't get the right writer, is my feeling. I would be down with a revamp on Cloak and Dagger. See what somebody who would, you know, get like a hot artist on it and see what they would do. The robot virus guy was one of my favorites. Ah, that's where Awesome One said Warlock. Yeah, that's Warlock. He was cool. Yeah, he was a cool character. He had a lot of story behind him too. I think like they had a storyline. He had his dad. It was like a bigger version of him. It was kind of this larger robot virus. Whoops, sorry. Warlock destroys half the universe before the car. Okay, yeah. I don't know if I followed that storyline, but I remember it got pretty epic with him. And Warlock was his name-o. Oh my gosh, you guys talking about cookies. It's making me hungry now. Gojira. I loved his Wolverine stuff. He's one of the best Wolverine artists, Arthur Adams is. Like this, like talk about classic Wolverine image. Go to Arthur Adams. I also think a strain of the virus is what takes out the mutants. Oh, okay. Yeah, I feel like I know a lot about comics, but then there's so much I don't know because, as I'd mentioned earlier, I had a gap in when I was reading comics, and yeah, it was a time where I wasn't interested in comics. The more I stopped reading them, and I have such a gap in the storylines. Oh gosh, stop it! You guys are making me so hungry for dessert. Did Starlin do Shadowhawk? No, that was Jim Valentino did Shadowhawk. And Jim Valentino also worked on Guardians. So maybe Starlin didn't work on Guardians. Or he worked on like the 90s Guardians. Jim Valentino did. And then when the Image guys formed Image, Valentino was part of that as well. There was some interesting podcasts that came out recently, or interviews came out recently, where there was definitely a fallout between Valentino and Rob Liefeld. And Rob Liefeld is the more vocal of the two of the guys. Valentino was never as big as a star as Rob Liefeld was, and arguably his art style wasn't as exciting as Rob Liefeld's was. But I know, from what I've heard, is he was a lot of the behind the scenes work of getting Image to be a successful company, while Rob Liefeld was kind of the face of, like, the rock star face of those guys. So I think there's a bit of bad blood between them. But yes, Shadowhawk was his book that came out when Rob Liefeld did Youngblood, Jim Lee did Wildcats, Silvestri did Cyberforce, Portacio did Wetworks, McFarlane did Spawn, Eric Larson did Savage Dragon. Were those all the originals? Did I miss any? And then they had second wave, like Sam Keith doing the Max and Dale Keown doing the Pit. But Valentino's was Shadowhawk. And to be honest, I never really got into Shadowhawk because his art wasn't as great as everybody else's. Wasn't as exciting, I should say, as everybody else's. Jim Starlin's work on Guardians of the Galaxy was wonderful, if it's the guy I'm thinking of. I'm pretty sure it was Jim Starlin worked on Guardians at some point in his career. He definitely worked on the Infinity Gauntlet, like Thanos, all the classic Thanos Infinity Gauntlet, the gems, that's all Jim Starlin. Comrade Sammy, you sound like you must have like comfy socks on right now, warm milk. It sounds like you're living the life, which is great. Will Disease X make us X-Men? I don't know. That'd be cool. Someone says, I stopped collecting during school and actually was reading more fantasy and sci-fi novels as a teen. Then I got back into comics as an adult. Yeah. I mean, the cool thing with the comics, like now, right? This kind of reinvigoration of myself of getting back into it. And so now, since I skip so much or miss so much, I have so much to read now or want to hunt. Like Cranberry Langers has been recommending this Animal Man New 52, and I didn't know anything about it. I'm still hunting for volume 1 and 2 right now, but I'm excited because I'm like, hey, I've never heard of that. I want to check it out. Here's that cover. See, they don't show the black and white here. Wow, I just noticed that storm. That is a great storm. My goodness. All these classic X-Men covers. I just bought all these just because he did the covers. And they were reprinting old stories, but they got Arthur Adams to do the covers. And look at that. So amazing. All these covers. This is great. I'm glad they included these. Because I have had all these individual issues just for Arthur Adams' work. I love this. Like normally Colossus's fingers, they would just do the metal joints here, but here, like he did this interesting, can you guys see that? This interesting detail on those fingers. It's so cool. Love those artist interpretations of stuff. It's amazing. Looks like P. Craig Russell is inking his stuff, and P. Craig Russell is a great artist in his own right. He did a lot of kind of fantasy classics, classic stories as well. He also worked with Mike Mignola earlier on in his career on inking Hellboy before Mike Mignola started doing it himself. P. Craig Russell has like a really nice, elegant line to his work. I remember this cover. Well, it's some crazy perspective there. But it's not. It's like stylized. Like you get that it's this forced perspective, but it's stylized in a way that it's not real. It's more comic book. I love that. I feel like if somebody were to draw that today, some of the artists today, they'd make that look really real, and it would look like a real person's perspective. But Arthur Adams' stylization just makes it infinitely better for me. I have a broken fan stuck on full blast and get nausea if I don't have good airflow. I've got used to being slightly cold all year long. Awesome one. You have the craziest stories, but I love it. Just the craziest random white Japanese sweet potato stories. I love it. Tendons on his fingers. Yeah, it's like tendons but turned metal, right? So cool. Oh my goodness. That's awesome. I love that. Firelord and Phoenix. Inks by Al Williamson, another great inker. Oh, this is Gladiator. We were talking about that on one of my streams, Super Nostalgia stream with Fred and Tick. He was talking about the Mohawk guy. This is him, Gladiator. The Starjammers. Do you guys remember these? I expect them to. I feel like they're gonna show up in like. Well, actually, no. Guardians of the Galaxy. The movies are done, right? So they wouldn't show up, but they would be perfect to show up in that world. It's like he got a little bit more cartoony with these, and I love it. Like more exaggerated. Started accentuating proportions. It still works. Why buy another? Hey, I can appreciate that. Makes for a good story too. You just can't ever not have a fan blowing at you now. Awesome one thinks you're a ballerina and keeping you on your toes. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I love it. I love it. Shiara. Was that the name of the Shi'ar, right? The Shi'ar were the name of those bird people with the triangle hair. Her name was Lalandra, I think. Yeah, but the Shi'ara. His dad might show up gay on the Disney X-Men. Oh, Corsair. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I love the Starjammers. Yep. It was a cool team. Wow, I don't remember this one. That's cool. Oh yeah, this guy. He was also like a psychic. I think he was the one who, when Storm was a young orphan, he like controlled her, and then that's how Professor X found her when she was young. That's how she joined the X-Men. Ah, this is Longshot's first introduction. X-Men 10. I think we were talking about with my friends. Oh, this takes me back. Yeah, Shi'ar. Gotcha. Yeah. Oh man. These are great. I love the colors on this. Like these kind of choices that they made for coloring. Like they're trying to follow the inking hatching, like the lighting, this dramatic like underlit face, and then they made these hard decisions with the colors here. But I love it. Like it's just white, and then that like now today it would be realistic, and the shadows and the highlights and all the kind of glow and blah 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 would be there. But this is just like you get it. It's really impactful. Oof, I love Arthur Adams' Storm. She was beautiful. This was a funny one. This is right. This is when they start becoming younger. Funny story. Here they are, the X-Babies. First appearance of the X-Babies. Shadow King, thank you. Yes, that was that dude that controlled. That's right, Shadow King. His muscly dudes rock. Yeah, it's cool. Arthur Adams had the most interesting, or distinct, I should say, anatomy. Superhero proportions. And I love how there was variance too, right? Like the strong, muscly guys were really muscly and big and buff, and then the lanky guys were super lanky, and the women were really skinny and slim, and the mojos were super fat. But yeah, there's variance in his character designs. It wasn't just one stock photo or stock model. Get great expressions, great posing, very exciting stuff. I feel like we're missing a lot of this in comics these days. They're just overly highly rendered now. Oh, I love this. One of my favorite Arthur Adams images. I read somewhere somebody commenting on Havoc here, his like legs. Somebody said like, where are his legs? Because this is Longshot's leg right here. Right here. Here's Kitty's. This is Dazzler's. Wolverine's. Like, where are Havoc's legs? I've heard some people say. But who cares? Like, look how amazing that image is. And the thing I loved about it was the painted quality to it. Oh, okay, cool. They even give credit. Painted colored by Linda Medley. Never heard of her before, but she did a great like watercolor treatment on it. And it just was an awesome combo. Let's see. For some reason, I liked Wonder Man. Yeah, he was okay. Wasn't he like an actor? He kind of was stuck up a little bit, but he had like Superman-ish powers. Was he part android? Or am I getting that confused with Vision? I felt like those two were connected somehow, Vision and Wonder Man. Somebody look it up. I'm pretty sure they were. Like there was a different version of Vision or something like that. My goodness, Anna, the Star Wars girl, had bangs for a few days. Did not look right on her. She's married now. I heard that. Wonder if she has a baby Peach. Are we talking about Anna? Wonder Man was actually like the one conservative or libertarian, and they made that evil in the book. Really? I don't even remember that. I remember he looked like a model kind of, right? He was supposed to be really handsome. He had those red sunglasses and clean cut. Not really a costume, just a red suit bit, but I don't know that much. I know he was with the Avengers. Was it the West Coast Avenger? Maybe just regular Avengers? But I could have sworn he was part android. I can't stand stock character designs. Yeah, it's nice when they add a little personality and different body types, different hairstyles and whatnot. Some people just can only draw in one way. And then when you have people that start mimicking that, like, so for example, Jim Lee had a certain style. I feel like his characters had variants in it. Different than Arthur Adams, but they're, you know, you could tell different ethnicities, different whatever, weights, body types. But then people that started aping Jim Lee, they would just copy his stylization, and then it just all started looking like the same. I was about to say, this looks like a Barry Windsor Smith, and then now I remember that he inked this. Yeah, which is said Barry Windsor Smith. He had very distinct like lines, hatch lines that Barry Windsor Smith. Barry Windsor Smith was the artist and I believe writer on Weapon X, that miniseries or one-shot novel, graphic novel about Wolverine's backstory. I used to have this High Evolutionary. I love this. I kind of wish he looked like this in the movies. I wish we saw this in the movies. Great Storm. There's just so much appeal in Arthur Adams' work. Who's the inker on this? Bob Wyacek. Oh, okay. Wyacek. Yeah, Wonder Man fought evil producers. Okay. No legs for you, Havoc. No legs. I think I noticed the missing legs when I first saw that. I used to pore over images. Yeah, it's funny, right? It's funny, these little... I wonder what the artists who created, or were the artists on any of these images that people obsess over. I wonder, like, sometimes it might have just been they forgot it, or it's like a flick of the wrist. I remember one of my favorite artists is Jason Pearson, and I think there was a cover he drew where a girl is holding a gun, and he accidentally gave her 6 fingers. And like everyone's like, oh my gosh, 6 finger. And they were just free. It just became crazy, like the frenzy over it. They, I can't draw, blah, blah, blah. And I think he even corrected it. They did a reprint and he corrected it. It's so bad, but you know, can't remember everything. I mean, I guess he can remember number of fingers, but he's like Juggernaut. His power is supernatural. Wonder Man? Yeah, I believe I remember that. Vision was an android and got part of his personality from Wonder Man. Okay. Yeah, I knew there was something that they were connected. Rocky. Anna calls her now hubby Peaches. So yes, talking about... Oh, okay. Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you for that. Wonder Man is pretty much sentient plasma now. When in doubt, make him sentient plasma. And you're all covered. Terminus. Wow, this is a cool high evolutionary. I totally forgot about this. I mean, I remember him like this, his pink outfit and his pink suit, but I forgot this Arthur Adams version. Aping Jim Lee. Yeah. We have had some Barry AO Warrior Dude by Valiant. We have some Barry Warrior Dude by Barry I have some Barry, was it Barry Windsor Smith? Warrior Dude by Valiant. Which one did he work on? I think you're right. Valiant Iron Man. Oh, was it Exo? Exo Man of War? Maybe? I have this issue. Maybe it was Exo Man of War. Did Barry Windsor Smith do Exo Man of War? I think you're right. I think there was a crossover. I have a crossover from Image and Valiant comics where the characters from Image, like Wildcats, crossed over with the characters from Valiant, like Exo Man of War, and I believe Barry Windsor Smith drew that. It was like an annual or something, and he drew that. Yeah, good call. I don't remember this issue. I feel like I had it, but I don't remember it at all, so it'll be great to read through this. It's going to take me like a freaking year to read this whole book. Great Mojo. I don't think anybody's drawn Mojo better than Arthur Adams. I really wish, I know somebody had mentioned this in the chat, one of my streams, but I really wish he would revisit Monkey Man and O'Brien. Have you guys seen Monkey Man and O'Brien? If nobody's seen Monkey, or if there's somebody in the chat who has not seen Monkey Man and O'Brien, please let me know, because I will go and pull that out to show you. It is worth it if we're talking about Arthur Adams. But if you have seen it, I will spare you. But I love Monkey Man and O'Brien. Exo Man of War. Yep. I'm bad with names. No problem. X-Men TV. Yes. This is crazy. What's going on here? But I love it. More X-Babies. The X-Babies just became huge selling points. It was such a hit that they just kept doing it. I love these tiny claws. Snicked. Arthur Adams also drew a great Loki. I think he was one of those artists that no matter which character he drew, he always had a cool version of that character. I didn't like Exo Man of War's suit design until they redid it more recently. Huh, I don't think I saw the recent one. Yeah, it was kind of weird. Valiant Comics never truly clicked for me. I think I showed like Ninjak to you guys on one of my streams because Joe Quesada was on it. Valiant has done some recent stories that I kind of got into. They did like a Bloodshot story. That was kind of cool. Bloodshot was he was a cool character. I thought they was like one of their better characters. He was kind of a mix of Punisher. Had an interesting concept. Like he had these nanobots in his blood. and he could control them to like heal him and do certain things for him, give him superhuman abilities. So it was a cool concept, and he was a cool character. But then they had some weird ones that I didn't ever get. Like I never got into Turok, or like, what was that guy? Robot Hunter something? Robot Fighter? I don't know. They were just kind of blando. No, I have not, but I have seen the monkeys. You have not seen Monkey Man and O'Brien. We're missing Mr. Monkey Boy and MMO. I liked EXO and the Atom dude. Oh yeah, the Atom guy. That's right. EXO Man of War. I don't know the story. I think he was just, wasn't his armor like across different generations or ages, right? EXO Man of War. Bloodshot looked cool. Yeah, he was cool. He was a cool character. And they've had some cool stories with him, so I feel like he's one of the more successful stories. Okay, I'm going to get my Monkey Man and O'Brien trade because nobody who shows up in my stream should not know about it, especially if I'm talking about Arthur Adams. So 1 second. This is Monkey Man and O'Brien. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can get a closer look. So this was Arthur Adams' original creation, and he came out with this under the legend. I feel like I'm distracted with too much goodness. He came out with this under the... Look how thick this is. Look how deep of a shadow this book is casting. That's ridiculous. Okay, let me move this over here. He came out with this under the Legend imprint, which was, if I remember correctly, it was Mike Mignola, so Hellboy was under the Legend. It was Dark Horse, but then they had a Legend imprint, so it was kind of their version of, like, I've heard it called like the Old Man Image. So it was Mike Mignola did Hellboy, Frank Miller did Sin City, Arthur Adams did Monkey Man and O'Brien, and Walt Simonson did Star Slammers, I believe. Who else was? Oh, there was like Paul Chadwick did Concrete. I feel like there's one more, but those were the main guys. And so Arthur Adams did this limited series or short series called Monkey Man and O'Brien, and my poor book is so loved. But basically it was this character, Monkey Man and O'Brien. Monkey Man's like this alien traveler. He came, and she's a scientist. She's super strong. She got infected, or not infected, but some sort of blast happened when the Monkey Man arrived into Earth, and that forced her to, or not forced her, transformed her, gave her like superpowers, like a bigger build, and then here he is. So this is where they meet, but they're just the coolest team. Love these, like, astronaut. His astronaut suit had hands as the gloves too, because of the fingers on a, or the feet on a gorilla. Let's see. I'm actually going to take off. Good night, Rocky. Everybody else. Okay, see you later, Cranberry. Thank you so much for coming by. Going unconscious. Yeah, sorry. It's late. I know. It's late. I got to get through the rest of the book. See you guys. See you later. See you next time. Thanks for coming. Okay, I'll move through this really fast. Awesome one. You're the one who never saw this, right? So, yeah, this is Monkey Man and Brian. But just fun stuff, because Arthur Adams loves drawing apes, gorillas, monsters. And then this was his version of Mole Man, like from the Fantastic Four, but he called him the Shroomanoid, which is a great name. So it's kind of this fun, tongue-in-cheek throwback. Look at these awesome monsters. And then Monkey Man was super intelligent too, so they kind of worked together. And he had just these funny characters. Shroomonoid, he was a trip, this character. But good stuff. So Overwatch stole the Monkey Man, shame, shame. Oh, I don't know, possibly. The Overwatch definitely came out after. I don't know much about Overwatch, but it came out after. Not that Monkey Man is a very original name and or concept, but I can't imagine they're not influenced by this. And then there's the Froglodytes. Just fun stuff. Like he loves those universal horror films, and so he injected a lot of that feeling into his character designs and his stories. So yeah, he did the series, and it was fun. Did a lot of short stories that were like backup stories in the original Hellboys. Look at this villain. The guy's awesome. And then he stopped doing it. I don't know why. I think they even did action figures. Here's that same painted feel to like that X-Men image that we were looking at earlier. But I think he did this painting. This was some of his original drawings. He called him Tool. Tool and Die. I love Monkey Man and O'Brien, though. I think that's a cool name. This is funny. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, How to Draw Comics the Art Adams Way. And he's basically saying, like, everybody's ripping me off. It's funny. Let me zoom in this part. He says, oh, I can do this. He says, at the end, they're just saying, like, you like to draw comic books for a living? Yeah, who wouldn't? He's like, oh, Arthur Adams does this, and there's 1,203 guys who draw like him. He's totally saying, like, everybody's aping him. And then he says, wow, of course, in fact, he's drawing you right now. He's like, wow, that is official, but what classes do I take? What book should I read? And they're just talking like, here, pull out Arthur Adams comics and look at it. And watch these movies, watch King Kong, and blah, 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 blah. And at the end, he says, now you're starting to think like Mr. Adams. Remember, you're having sushi for dinner. He has sushi, ugh. Is that how Todd got his start? And he said, talking about Todd McFarlane, which is kind of a knock on Todd McFarlane, but kind of funny. Oh, yeah, Martha Washington was another one that was under the legend. Martha Washington, Sin City, John Burns' X-Men. Madman was another one that was under Big Guy and Rusty Boy Robot. Legend had a cool imprint. So it was cool, really cool. It's very different from Image, but the guys who were on it were legends. Hence the name. All right, let's finish this up. I know it's late for a lot of you guys. Thank you for sticking around so long. I credit that to Arthur Adams' powers. Ooh, this is beautiful. Cool stuff. Oh, I remember this. He did a couple issues of X Factor about this character that was like hunting for gold. Very cool. Oh, who are we talking about Boom Boom, Boomer, Jubilee? This is Boom Boom right here. Do you guys, were you, was it Awesome One that we were talking about Boom Boom, or was it Cranberry? I can't remember. But yeah, this is Boom Boom. This is how dated her outfit was. That spacesuit is almost identical to the one in the opening scene of the game. Okay, so, maybe they did. Maybe they did it. I remember Martha. I just recently read that Martha Washington. I think they have one compilation of all the stories. And they're good. I love Dave Gibbons stuff. Dave Gibbons, Frank Miller, that pairing. I love it. And it was cool. I mean, there was at some points it was hard to take. Not hard to take, but hard to follow. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I don't think I appreciated it as much when it first came out, but reading it all in one compilation was great because it's kind of like a long game of her story. It takes place in multiple different points of time in her life. I was thinking of Jubilee. Okay, yeah. When you said Boomer last time, yeah. So yeah, they're easily confusing. It's easy to confuse the two of them because their powers were very similar. But that was Boom Boom. She was the one with the timed bombs, and Jubilee was the one with the plasmoid fireworks or whatever, whatever it was that I think Cranberry Langers looked up. Very cool. Cool drawing. Love seeing this one in black and white. This is that. I love that they put in the full stories here. It's awesome. And this binding too on this omnibus doesn't feel like it will like tear if you open it too wide. Sometimes really thick books have that feeling that, oh, if I spread it open, it'll rip the binding. This is not like that. This is definitely very secure. Ooh, another awesome Wolverine image. Each one looks awesome. This is 1988. Oh, I do remember reading this in the review from that channel, Near Mint Condition, that YouTube channel. He was talking about how, like, it's cool that they put this on one big page, but right at the seam, you can not see Wolverine. It's kind of clamped, crushed in there. There's Boom Boom. So yeah, it was an interesting choice. Same painter, Linda Medley. Huh, I wonder what she's doing now. Wow, there's that long shot cover. Long shot from the books. Wow, black and white. Oh my gosh. Really good. Cool. X-Babies. More X-Babies. How many more stories can we tell with the X-Babies? A lot, apparently. Do you guys in the chat who read comics, do you guys have favorite artists that you like? I would love to know. I'd love to know what you guys are reading right now. I'm always down of like learning or finding new books. So anything you can recommend, I'd love it. This guy's awesome. I don't remember this guy. That's a funny Mojo. Classic cover for that compilation. Classic. This guy was, I think his name was Ahab. Yep, this issue's good. This is a good one. Focusing on Rachel Summers. I haven't read in many years. Don't tell anyone. So then you're here for the great commentary and banter and not for the comics? What? No, it's fun. These are great. Great images, great drawings, really fun faces. I feel like his faces, Arthur Adams, all the faces and expressions here just went up a different level. Another version, color by Brian Haberlin. Okay, that's computer colored. Classic. So good, this image. Oh, Marvel art director John Romita drew this sketch to help Arthur hone his approach on the classic X-Men 1 cover. Wow. And then Arthur Adams did this. That's cool. Dang, John Romita. Okay. Well, what was his first? Was this his first take? Oh, this might have been his first take. Interesting. It's kind of flat. I mean, it's from a up angle, but wow, that made a world of difference. That's great. What a great like help that was. I love it. That's cool to see. There's that cover again. And all that beautiful black ink here. Another great cover. These are all the classic X-Men stuff. Oops. This is so jam-packed. I feel like I've eaten like 40 steak dinners looking at this. Or 40 Filipino dinners. This is overwhelmingly so much Arthur Adams stuff. Original art. Terry Austin Sink. Here's the Barry Windsor Smith. Oh, that's beautiful. Layout and vellum overlay. Original art inks by Barry Windsor Smith. Oh my gosh. It's never ending. These are all the evolutionary. So that's cool. They show you the finished book and then kind of the photocopied pencil work or the pencil work. Okay, we're at page 969. We're almost there, guys. Hang in there. Leroy Jenkins. Fantastic Four. Yeah, he did a few special issues of Fantastic Four. Always throwing in giant monsters. There's his Mole Man. His Gray Hulk. Awesome. This was a cool time where, oh yeah, this is where the Fantastic Four became Wolverine, Spider-Man, Hulk, and Ghost Rider. And it was Gray Hulk too. So he was like somewhat intelligent. That's great. See this Art T-Bear? I know he's in the Comicsgate space. He inked this issue. Or a portion of this issue. That's great. Man, you got to touch Arthur Adams' work. It's unbelievable. Oh, it's like, why is this all brown? It was the second printing of that cover. I guess it was like a gold kind of. This one was inked by art. Wow. That got misregistered. Huh. Interesting. This is blurry. Blurry page. Return it! This is a piece of garbage. But that page was misaligned, and so it looks blurry. Thought my eyes were failing me for a second, but no, it was the misalignment of the printing. Marvel Superheroes Special Edition. Or Summer Special. I don't think I've seen this before. When did this come out? 1991. Oh, okay. This was the cover of... This is the image I was talking about earlier. This is what the cover of the other version of this book, not this cover. And it's good, you know, it has all the classic characters, but come on. Like this is the cover. They called this the direct edition cover, so, or direct market cover. Get a refund. Yeah. There's on page 994, there's a misalignment. My goodness. Too much good stuff. Fantastic Four. Crazy good Hulk. Monsters Unleashed. I don't even know what that is. Oh, trading cards. Awesome. All right, page 1097. Almost there. Classic cover. Love it. There's the Art T-Bear signature too. Yeah. Let's see. Zoom in a little bit closer for you guys. See that Art T-Bear signature there. Amazing that he got to ink this incredibly iconic cover. Why do I feel like I'm cramming for... I know. This is totally what it feels like. It's like, I'm going to get quizzed on this by Shelby tomorrow. Oh my goodness. We're almost there. Wow, this is awesome. I love this in black and white, actually. More so than the color version. I don't even know where it was. It's okay. That's awesome. That black and white version is awesome. Black and white. Marvel Holiday Special. I love the sense of humor that Arthur Adams has in his work too. Like he can draw anything cool, any kind of action thing, any character design, but he also has like a sense of humor in the stuff he does. I was talking to one of the comic book store owners, James. His store is called Isotope Comics, and I'll be doing a trailer video for them too soon. And he was telling me a story about Arthur Adams, how he met him, and he said he's not the most friendliest guy, but he's cool. Like once you get to talk to him, but he wasn't super approachable. But it's just so funny to see his work here, and like it seems like, oh, he's such a happy-go-lucky. That's a great sense of humor, but artists are weird that way. Like look at all these iterations of Wolverine. Different versions of the classic image that he drew. He just used it on anything. Here, 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 here. These are not his drawings in the back. This is definitely John Romita Jr. This is Greg Capullo. This is definitely not him. There's no way he drew these drawings. These are not his style. Just think 100 years ago, most art wasn't on paper, but a canvas. Yeah, that's probably why comics weren't invented at that time. Because doing comics on canvas would have been really hard. Oh, these are Toy Biz designs, Toy Biz figure designs. That's awesome. These are cool. This is the leader. Absorbing Man. Oh, these are cool. This is like this wheelhouse. Oh, that's cool. It's like even more cartoony. Wow. Wow, that's cool. 1998. Oh, and then he did like what is this? Generation X version, but in the same pose as his original. 1999, Arthur drew this classic homage for Marvel Creative Services. Blah, 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 blah. Age of Apocalypse role-playing game. Oh, okay, cool. And yeah, that's fun. We're almost there. 1190. We are literally almost there. We are at the coming to the finish line, everybody. Yay for everybody sticking around. Oh, this is cool. Mike Mignola inked this one. Doesn't look like Mike Mignola inks at all. This was 2019 cover. What? No. He did not draw this in 2019. Maybe they used it in 2019. Yeah. Yeah, they just start recoloring his stuff. There it is. It's the end. That's what Art Adams looks like. Kind of like that. And this is the end. Whew. That was incredible. Co-creator. Okay. Wow, people. We did it. The market price, the list price for this is $125. I did not get it there. I got it much cheaper. I kind of hunted around for it, but even if I had to pay $125 for it, this is worth it. I'd rather have this than say the Rogue action figure that we were looking at the other day. As cool as that figure was, like I'd rather have this. This is intense. What a Friday to get something like this. It's literally going to take me a few months to get through this book to read it all, but it's amazing to see it all together. And I think what's so cool is to see all the process stuff that they interspersed in all of this. That's what I love, and I'm still happy that I did get this other one. Oops. This bigger one here, because it has different stuff in it. It has more of his like commission sketches, and they're at larger size. They have larger reprints that are bigger size, as you guys seen. So yeah, I'm okay that I bought this too. I was kind of kicking myself like, oh, I should have just waited for the omnibus, but no, see, this one has very cool stuff in it too, and a lot more recent artwork, which his style has evolved. And then I have done a review on this one, his art of Arthur Adams. This one he released recently with Flesk Publishing as a Kickstarter campaign, but you can buy it anywhere now, like at comic book stores. I think you can even order it online. But this stuff has, it's not just his Marvel stuff, so it's kind of cool. It has other stuff that he's, oh, there's that Art Adams story that we just looked at. Here it is in a bigger size. So yeah, it has other stuff that's not just Marvel Universe stuff. It has DC, it has Dark Horse, so that's cool to kind of see. So again, not too much redundancy with, there he is, there's the man, the legend. Not too much redundancy with this omnibus. So it's a worthy investment if you like Arthur Adams' work. I would definitely recommend it. If you can't tell from my stunned response to it, it's also late. So let's wrap it up here. Okay, let's see. What are you guys talking about? It's got to be cookies. It's got to be all sorts of stuff. I think I had some of the Chef Boyardee X-Men. Yeah, right? Just his artwork alone would make you collect the weirdest things. I would get his artwork or anything. Sammy is brushing her teeth. Nice. She went from cookies to brushing her teeth. We don't save garbage, so we threw it away. Oh, bummer. For the exam, we're cramming here. You're not inspiring confidence in your note-taking skills. All right, awesome one. Thanks for coming. Thank you so much. We'll see you. Oh, wait. GG means gotta go, right? Or maybe that's GTG. What does GG mean then? Good golly. Help. Somebody tell me what GG means. It's the end of the omnibus as we know it. It's the end of the omnibus as we know it. GG, Gwenny Gothics? Good game. Oh, thank you. Good game. Good game. Nice. We the waiter we had tonight, my daughter and I were joking around. The waiter we had today, I would ask him like, hey, can I get a whatever? Can we get more water or more sauce or whatever? And he'd say, yeah, man. I got you. And we were just laughing. I was like, I guess that's, that's the new way of saying no problem. Got it. Happy to. Got you. It was cool though. It made me feel like he got me. If your name is Art, do you have to be good at it? How great the art. That's nice. That's a great tribute. I know, a lot of pressure, right? If your name is Art and you sucked at it, then I would go by Arthur if I wasn't that great. All right, guys, I know it's super late where you are. It's somewhat late here, but it's I'm sure it's super late where you guys are. Rocky, you should have asked for a hug to see what he'd say. Can I have a hug? I got you. That would have been, that's where it would have gone over into the creepy land. But anyways, thanks. It's been cool hanging out with you guys. Thanks for coming around for round 2. It's obvious I didn't get to go to the do the Michael Golden stream, but I will, because he's worthy of as much time as Arthur Adams. Those two are incredible pillars of comic book art in my mind, so worthy to look through at his stuff. But I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks for joining me. please hit the like button, subscribing, obviously. Yeah, I'll catch you guys around soon. Hopefully we'll have some new stuff. I'm going to be posting some new YouTube shorts about a couple comics that I picked up, and my next real big goal is to do a draw stream soon, a traditional draw stream. So I'm going to get that set up and find a good time to do that. And then, yeah, I hope to stream with my buddy Marty again next week for another comics. Yeah, woo, my hair just went crazy. Sorry. I need a groomer. A boomer groomer. Yeah, I'm hoping to stream with my buddy Marty next week on another comics. Yeah, comics nah. So I'm excited to kind of find a comic to see if he would be into it. But all right, guys, on to Dean's stream. Whoever Dean is, God bless that dude for streaming so late. Thanks, Rocky and Thank you, awesome one. I love it. I got you guys. Clean teeth. See ya, Comrade Sammy. See you guys all. Bye. See ya. Awesome. You guys are fun. I'll talk to you later. Have a good weekend.